From building secret tunnels to faking one's own death, people have gone to unimaginable lengths to avoid the law. But how far is too far? It's a question that might make you scratch your head. So let's dive into some of the most daring and unbelievable escapes ever made. Imagine this: a man named Charles F. Peace, a notorious English criminal from the late 19th century, was known for his cunning disguises. He was a master of disguise, transforming himself into anything from a vicar to a wealthy businessman, all to elude the watchful eyes of the law. It's said that he even had a hollow wooden leg where he hid his tools. Talk about hiding in plain sight. Then there's the infamous El Chapo, a drug lord who took the art of escape to new depths, literally. El Chapo commissioned a mile-long tunnel, complete with ventilation and lighting, leading from his prison shower to a safe house. This wasn't just a hole in the ground, it was a feat of engineering, all designed to give him freedom while leaving authorities in the dust. And let's not forget John Stonehouse, a British member of Parliament, who staged his own death by drowning in 1974. He left his pile of clothes on a Miami beach, sparking a massive manhunt and worldwide mourning. Meanwhile, he was living it up in Australia under a new identity. Too bad for him, his penchant for writing love letters to his mistress led to his capture. Each of these tales is a testament to human ingenuity and audacity, but they also highlight a darker truth about the lengths some will go to evade justice. Remember, however, that while these stories may seem thrilling, they are the exception, not the rule. Most criminals are caught, and the law usually prevails. These are just a few examples of the lengths people will go to avoid the law, but as we'll see, some take it even further. The art of deception has played a significant role in many escape stories. It's a fascinating dance of shadows and lies, a game of smoke and mirrors, if you will. Let's delve into some instances where individuals have used cunning and deceit to evade the long arm of the law. Picture this: you're on the run, the law hot on your heels. What do? Some choose to create entirely new personas. They fabricate identities, complete with falsified documents, and slip into the skin of a person who exists only on paper. Consider the story of Frank Abagnale. This man was a master of deception, assuming no less than 8 identities, including an airline pilot, a doctor, a U.S. Bureau of Prisons agent, and a lawyer. He was so convincing in his roles that he evaded capture for years, leaving bewildered law enforcement agents in his wake. Then, there are those who employ the artistry of makeup and prosthetics to alter their appearance. This isn't your regular Halloween mask or movie special effects. These are individuals who have transformed themselves so completely that even their own mothers wouldn't recognize them. They become chameleons, blending into the crowd, hiding in plain sight. There's also a more brazen approach, pretending to be law enforcement themselves. It's a risky move, but when executed well, it can be incredibly effective. After all, who would suspect someone wearing the badge to be the one running from it? They say it takes a thief to catch a thief, but in these cases it seems it takes a thief to impersonate a cop. But remember, deception is more than just a game of dress-up. It's psychological warfare, a battle of wits. Every successful deception requires careful planning, flawless execution, and an ability to think on one's feet. Deception can be a powerful tool, but it's not the only method used in these unbelievable escapes. Keep listening as we delve further into the wild and wacky ways people have avoided the law. Some individuals have resorted to unorthodox methods to outwit the law. And when we say unorthodox, we mean it in the most literal sense. These methods are not your run-of-the-mill everyday strategies. No, they're the kind that make you scratch your head and say, did they really just do that? Let's talk about hiding in plain sight. It's a strategy that's been used in countless spy movies, but it's also been deployed in real life. There was this one case where a man on the run decided to hide as a street performer in a bustling city. He painted himself silver from head to toe and stood as still as a statue in the middle of a crowded square. The audacity of it. There he was, the most wanted man in town, standing right under the noses of the very people looking for him. Then there are those who have used technology to their advantage. You've heard of hackers, right? Well, some of these tech-savvy individuals have managed to stay one step ahead of the law by manipulating digital footprints, erasing their online presence, or even creating virtual decoys. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, where the stakes are freedom and capture. And let's not forget the masters of distraction. These are the people who lead the authorities on wild goose chases, leaving a trail of red herrings in their wake. Think about the guy who staged a fake robbery to distract the police while he made his escape, or the woman who set off fireworks in the middle of the night, creating a spectacle that drew attention away from her getaway. These individuals aren't just breaking the law, they're doing it with a certain panache that's almost admirable if it wasn't so illegal. They're turning evasion into an art form, using creativity and cunning to stay one step ahead. These methods may seem outlandish, but they're not the most extreme we've seen. Oh no, my friends, we're just getting started, so buckle up because it's about to get even more bizarre. Now let's delve into the incredible and the absurd. Let's start with the audacious. Picture this. You're on the run from the law, and you need to pass a message to your accomplices. What do? You could use a burner phone or perhaps a coded message. Or, if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you could train a bird to deliver your messages. That's right, carrier pigeons have been used by criminals to evade law enforcement. Although it sounds like something out of a spy novel, it's a method that's not only been tried but has actually worked. Now let's move on to the downright bizarre. Imagine being so desperate to escape the clutches of the law that you decide to float away. Literally. Using a weather balloon to make an airborne escape might seem like a plot lifted straight from a cartoon, but believe it or not, it's been attempted. The lawbreaker in question didn't quite make it to the stratosphere, but he did manage to give the authorities quite a chase. But it's not just the lawbreakers who've had to get creative. Law enforcement has had to keep up, developing techniques to counter these outrageous evasion methods. From training their own birds to using heat-seeking technology to track down airborne fugitives, it's been a constant game of cat and mouse. And then, there are those who've taken a leaf straight out of Houdini's book. Using magic tricks to disappear might sound like the stuff of fairy tales, but there have been instances where criminals have used smoke bombs, mirrors, and even sleight of hand to make a quick escape. It's a risky strategy and one that requires a certain level of skill, but when it works, it can be spectacularly effective. So whether it's carrier pigeons, weather balloons, or magic tricks, one thing's clear. When it comes to avoiding the law, people can be incredibly inventive. As we've seen, people can be incredibly inventive when they're trying to avoid the law. But what happens when these elaborate plans fail? Well, let's delve into that, shall we? When these grandiose schemes to dodge the law crumble, the consequences are often far heavier than the initial sentence would have been. You see, attempting to evade the law is itself a crime, and when added to the initial charges, it can compound the penalties significantly. Imagine sitting in a courtroom, your heart pounding, as the judge announces an additional 10 years to your sentence, all because of a failed escape attempt. That's the reality many face when their audacious plans go awry. It's a high-risk game where the stakes are freedom and the losses are measured in years behind bars. And it's not just about the legal punishments, there's also the stinging bite of public humiliation to consider. Picture this. Your face plastered on every news channel, the headlines screaming about your botched escape attempt, friends, family, and strangers alike all sharing a laugh at your expense. The internet never forgets, and your failed antics become a permanent part of your digital footprint. But it doesn't stop there. The repercussions can seep into every facet of life, from employment prospects to personal relationships. Potential employers might be less inclined to hire someone with a tarnished reputation, and loved ones might distance themselves due to the ensuing embarrassment. These risks often outweigh the short-term benefits of evasion. Sure, there's the thrill of the chase, the temporary freedom, but at what cost? Is it worth the potential of a longer sentence, the public ridicule, the strained relationships? These are the questions one must grapple with when contemplating such drastic measures. Ultimately, these stories remind us that while the methods may vary, the outcome is usually the same. The law catches up eventually. It's a relentless pursuit, a game of cat and mouse where the mouse rarely wins. So as entertaining as these tales may be, they serve as a stark reminder that no matter how cunning the plan, justice has a way of catching up in the end.